I'm curious to pick your brain on this question. Do you have any advice for lost 20-somethings such as myself to further their personal development? Like what should they do to expand the scope of their possibilities, the range of their possibilities? Advice
Well, you
for
know,
20-year-olds like fresh in
you
college.
know, I'm 21.
You're
Uh,
21?
yes,
People think that I'm like 14 when I shave, not when I have facial hair, but when I have
right. I'm
my hair,
21.
I look pretty young. You're 21.
Yes. How old do you think I was?
You're wise beyond your years. So I thought it
Oh,
was.
that's very nice of you.
I'm
40?
sure people do.
There are people who think I'm 40 years old. No, it's sad. It's
It's the
depressing, man.
it's the
Feels bad, man. That's what the old meme said, right? Feels bad, man.
I'm
That's what the old meme says. I think the 20s are a time in which people think you're supposed to be very wild and just irresponsible and quote unquote enjoy life. And when you do all that kind of stuff, you set a standard for yourself because the 20s, in my opinion, are a formative period for the rest of your adulthood. If you're wild and you're just partying and you're doing all this wild thing, it'll catch up with you either in your health and your mental perceptions of certain ideas like love and friendship. It'll catch up to you. So I would encourage people to just use the 20s as a time to establish their values if they haven't already,
Mhm.
to form a sort of semi-permanent idea of what some important concepts of life mean to you, like friendship,
Mhm.
trust, humility. Form that now and let it develop as you keep going on. But form that now so that you can have a standard in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s that you can remember. Because a tree grows beyond its roots, but it still needs its roots. A tree will not be a sapling forever. Those roots will seem smaller and smaller and smaller as time progresses.
Mhm.
But without those roots, the tree can't live.
Mhm.
So you need to establish roots in your 20s so your tree can grow and live. That's what I have. That's what I have.
Standing ovation.
And we have to clip that, by the way.
Yes. Standing ovation. I spent the first half of my 20s doing exactly that. Not the smart people stuff, but the partying and the aimlessness. I graduated high school in 2013 and didn't go back to college until 2018. And man, that was
Really?
an aimless period in my life, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Yeah. It was just dark and I don't know
Uh,
what to do. And yeah, I mean, that's where I think a lot of depression stems from is like this aimless
yes.
nihilist feeling, which I was definitely
Oh,
in
yeah.
thralls of from 2013 to 2018. And yeah, it was not fun. It was not fun. I'm
Yeah.
26 now, and I'm glad to see myself actually heading in a different direction than what I was doing 3 years ago, even.
Yes. Well, and a lot of people within the kind of lifestyle that you had was great and fun and fulfilling. You know, being around all these people, partying, drinking, all that kind of stuff. They think that it's the best thing to do in your life, and I just I think that it really limits you. That kind of activity really limits your horizons because there's so much more to life than being an ambulance chaser for euphoria.
Mm,
There's so much more in life than constantly being high. Sometimes we have to be low
mhm,
to really discover ourselves. Only in some of the lowest points of my life have I really discovered what I believe, what I stand for, and how I want to act in my only in some of the lowest periods. I don't do that in my happiest periods because I don't really that does not lend itself to introspection.
mhm.
You've gotta get low. You've gotta get deep into the grainy stuff of life to really understand it because life itself is a very uncomfortable process. As Peterson would say, Jordan Peterson,
Mhm.
someone who I respect, life is really suffering,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not entirely. Yeah,
Solzhenitsyn.
sorry.
Speaking of Peterson, Solzhenitsyn has this quote in the Gulag Archipelago
Yes,
of "You have to suffer," which is such a crazy thing to hear from the mouth of somebody who suffered, unlike
yes,
anybody, and he's
yes.
still saying that suffering is a necessity of the soul.
And that's why he says that happiness is not the end all be all of life.
There is evil at work in the land to the west, Prince Ashitaka. It's your fate to go there and see what you can see with eyes unclouded by hate.